Welcome to the latest episode of the Slamburger and French Fries podcast. This is Brandon,
Johnny,
and we've got Trish, my wife, joining us.
This is a mistake.
It is. It's the biggest mistake since the wedding day.
Oh.
I meant for you. I'm stuck.
Words hurt. She is replacing Steve Vaughn and Ryan. They couldn't make it. They are both in distress. Say that they were not able to make it. So we are going to talk about the Raw. It was the first Raw with the Superstar shakeup, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It was the start of the shakeup of the shake and bake.
Of both shows.
It was a 2-day affair.
Yeah. I was happy they did it that way because just doing the one day, it's like, come on, you got to give me something else. And then I remembered SmackDown does it too. I was like, yes, okay, here we go.
And I was glad they didn't. They were talking about doing it at the next pay-per-view when they start their dual-branded stuff. Yeah. Or the next pay-per-view when they start their dual-branded stuff. So I was kind of glad to get it out of the way, get a couple weeks up, setting up whatever they're going to do there, and then kind of start going into it.
Yeah, I was very happy with that. Okay, so they started off the show. They started off with the show with Mahal coming out, and he brought the U.S. Championship with him, or the U.S. title, and he started kind of posturing, I guess you would call it.
Just doing his thing.
Yeah, and I can't remember, did he call for an opponent, or was he just like, I'm the best thing you got, or that could have come over, and then that's when Angle made the match.
I think you're right. Like, he was just running his mouth like he does, which he does a really good job at it, getting that true everybody hates him type of heat. So,
and then Angle's like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna put it to the test. And then Jeff Hardy comes out, and everybody's super excited because he just came back to the Raw before.
Yeah.
And for a minute, I thought he was going to be going for the Intercontinental title. And then when they announced Miz was making the jump over to SmackDown, I was like, okay, this makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
So their match was solid. I wasn't expecting much, but once it started and started getting put together, I was like, okay, like the differing styles kind of they accentuated one another.
Yeah,
and I was happy.
And I mean, you got to look at it like Hardy came back last week and was in that was it 6-man?
Yeah,
and he's 40-something years old and was moving with the spry young, late 20s, early 30-something year old who were all of them were in ridiculous shape, especially Team AB, as I like to call them, with Seth Rollins and Finn Balor.
Yeah,
I don't think any of those guys have eaten a carb in 5 years.
Have you guys heard of this stuff?
Bread?
It's called bread. I think you'll really love it. Yeah, man. I have that all the time. It'd be cool. But I was really happy with the way the match turned out. Like I said, the styles were so different. I look at Mahal as being kind of a smash and grab kind of guy.
Yeah,
where Jeff is more kind of erratic.
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, that's always been his thing.
Yeah, so I was worried how it could go, but it ended up turning into a pretty decent little opener to the show.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of fun to watch Hardy do his swantons now after listening to the Hardys on the ENC Pod of Awesome.
Yeah.
And Jeff talk about how he protects himself on the swantons now and just kind of lands fully on them.
Yeah.
Instead of how he used to kind of overshoot to get that whip up type of look. He's kind of protecting himself on it now.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of really funny to watch him now where he lands fully on them, like,
oh yeah,
small of the back in their ribs.
Which is the way he should have been doing all along.
Yeah.
But I mean, just he's always had that mentality of protecting the guy that he's going up against. Aside from, say, sprawling a ladder from the apron of the ring to the guardrail and landing fully on whoever he's going against.
Two come into mind. There was the one on Edge where he just Rikishi'd him, just full buttocks. and then there was their big return where he had Cesaro and Sheamus and fully went through one of them and pretty much kicked Cesaro in the ding-ding. Or kicked Sheamus in the ding-ding, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But that was a gross one, too. So he's still, even at his age, he's still doing that crazy stuff to get the reaction, which is awesome.
Yeah. Still dresses like he shops exclusively at Hot Topic. But
yeah. He's keeping trip pants in style.
Yeah.
That's what they're called, right?
I don't know.
I would assume so.
Jenko's making a comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you think, Trish?
Same as always. Like you were saying, Jinder Mahal does a really good job of being the bad guy without kind of going back to like the WWE 80s tactics of he's a foreigner, he's a bad man. Yeah, he does the whole I'm a foreigner thing. Right. Yeah. But it's not based on, screw America or I'm better than Americans or whatever. It's just he's a normal, everyday run-of-the-mill asshole.
Yeah.
So he does a really good job with that without taking it down like a cultural route where somebody's going to be super... Route. Yeah, right. Without, somebody coming out being like, you're portraying this particular group of people in a bad light.
Yeah.
It really, I kind of wish this would have worked years ago when Sean Daivari went to TNA and his whole premise was, I'm not foreign, I'm American who's been here for years. And then obviously everything that happened with people of his heritage, America turned on him, and that's why he hates America. And I kind of like those because it's a twist on the same thing, but it's kind of shoving some of America's worries and immediately hate everything of one style because of one bad thing. Where some of those guys are hardworking people who have been here for years, and they just happen to be of a different descent where there's some evil in.
Yeah.
So.
Just the age-old thing with professional wrestling. Instead of doing the "we've always hated you from afar," do it in the aspect of we came here, we tried to assimilate, and you still kind of shunned us. So now you've built me into this.
Yeah.
And definitely.
Speaking of built, with the end of that match, Jeff Hardy has built himself into the 12th Grand Slam champion.
Yeah. Yeah, I was happy to see that. I thought, okay, this is going to be a quick over and done. Mahal's going to keep the belt, and then Jeff pulling out in the end. I was like, okay, making not only a jump for Mahal and the championship, but just champions in general.
Mm-hmm. And then Hardy is now the only superstar to be a Grand Slam champion. Have the old tag belts, the hardcore, his list of titles that he has. He's the only one who's accumulated all of them. So if that doesn't make him a first ballot Hall of Famer now, right, I really don't know what would. He should go in by himself and as the Hardys, because they're just trend-setting, 3 decades now they've been doing it?
Something like that. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's neat to see that so many have been rebranded and kind of pulled out and, repackaged and brought back in, and what they had 20 years ago, whatever it is still what they bring to the table now. Matt Hardy's off on his own little whirlwind tour of Crazyville now, but Jeff Hardy kind of still has that ring of what he was then is still what he is now, whether it's, the attitude, the look, the style of wrestling. He's been very true to form, and I think that's why everybody still loves him as much as they do, is because the Jeff Hardy they liked 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago is still the Jeff Hardy that comes out, which is why I think everybody is so excited when it's okay, who's gonna beat up Jinder Mahal? Jeff Hardy. Right. Oh my God. And the music hits and everybody just, goes, completely nuts for it. Well, and it doesn't hurt though. That is, surprisingly, his wrestling is still good. Like you guys said, it's never hit this moment of perfectly polished, but a lot of what he does can never quite be perfected so much as, you just gotta flip as best as you can and hope whoever's there to take it is in the right spot.
Right.
Controlled frenzies.
Exactly.
That's probably the best description of Jeff Hardy ever.
Yeah.
A controlled frenzy.
Yeah. And I don't know. I've always felt that Jeff Hardy kind of lived his gimmick, and Matt always kind of just followed suit. Like, hey, if I'm going to be with my brother, like I've got to do it this way, you know.
Yeah.
But no, it's ended up making up for itself in the long run because Matt switching to the broken gimmick into the woken gimmick. Just it kind of took everything that Jeff's been doing for a while and turned it up to 11.
Yeah.
With the weird factor, so I liked it. I also wanted to make mention of the fact that Kurt Angle, in this segment, he noted his email address. He said that his email address was kurt.angle@nofreakingway.com.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the better email addresses I've ever heard.
Yeah, and it's good to see him still have some comedic delivery.
Yeah.
All right, so the match that followed this was Bayley versus Sasha, which is a little bit more of the road they've been going down.
Yeah, they just need to pull the trigger. Just get it done and over with.
Well, it seems like they dip into it.
A little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like they dip into it, and then they tease that it's not happening, and then they tease that it is, and then they pull back from it, and, like you said, just pull the trigger.
Yeah, they're probably
either you're in or you're out on this whole storyline / feud, or move the flip on.
Well, they keep kind of like adding other elements to it, like Absolution or Riot Squad or this or that.
Yeah.
It's like, just let them go.
Yeah, like...
Let them beat the tar out of each other.
And they can. Like, they had a series of matches in NXT that were barn burners.
Yeah.
They had the first Iron Woman's match.
Yeah.
I believe it was 30 minutes. They had the match of the night at the first TakeOver Brooklyn before SummerSlam.
Pretty sure you're right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got a feeling they might stretch this out to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Which is fine if they can keep it interesting. I'd like to see them kind of flip the thing and just turn Bayley heel.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, because she needs something to rejuvenate.
Yeah, I don't think like her character, which I love it. Like she's a true fan. She always is. Let her be herself. But I think being more aggressive or maybe getting rid of the colors or just changing a little bit of something would kind of turn everybody's heads and just mix it up a little bit because everybody expects Sasha to go heel because she's just more comfortable.
Yeah.
Especially with her being
she's
like
always
the...
teetered on the edge of it anyway.
Yeah, with the legit boss. Like, that just fits more of a cocky, bad woman character.
Right.
Well, they could do so much with it. Just simple stuff like taking Bayley's side knot and, like, having her move it to the other side.
Yeah.
And, like
she's graduating.
Yeah, or like over the top, like she's put her back her cap on backwards.
So
like,
let's go.
Oh no, now she means business.
Yeah.
And having her kind of like not play the stereotypical heel, but have her like she's so good, like or she's so face that her trying to be heel is almost comical.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna take you down and whatever it takes, and everyone's just like.
All right.
Would that be the equivalent of like her removing an elbow pad to drop the people's elbow?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what's happening. Elbow pad slowly comes off. But for Bayley, it's like, this is what's happening. She slowly tightens the ponytail to the other side of her head.
Right. I think it should just casually move.
Like, well, it normally does casually move.
Yeah. Well, like, it's in the one spot.
Yeah.
And then, like, next week it's a little bit further over until the full...
She's made the switch.
She's gone. And then
little stuff like that could be awesome for her character. Well, it ended up ending in a no contest, and Riot Squad came out and just started like
stomping everybody left and right.
I dig Riot Squad. I mean, I know some people have their quorums with them. I've been on shows with Sarah Logan and Ruby. Sarah's a legit badass. Like she will. I'm no doubt in my mind she did hunt wild boars barefoot in the backwoods of Kentucky.
Right.
Like she's
with a spork.
Yeah. Yeah. Not even a real fork, just a spork.
Right.
Like I just dig them. Like it's just they're there to start a riot. Pardon the pun, but
yeah.
I think the only downside to that was the Riot Squad and Absolution both kind of came to be at the same time. I'm thinking of the right name, right?
Yeah.
Absolution.
Yeah.
In the fact that you've got like the two, groups of bad females, your two bad female stables, whatever you want to call them. And I think whereas